Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your Canvas by Abby Humsey. I think that's how you say that. This is a developer request. I was sent this one, and this is a horror game. And I tend to not really like horror games I get sent, but this one kind of stuck out to me with its art style. It's described as like a text-based adventure, and it's more of like a psychological horror. It looks really well made and put together, and I want to see what this is about. My one criticism so far, though, the aspect ratio of this game is insane. Like, the window started enormous, like way larger than most games I've ever sent, and like when you shrink it down a bit, the text box is still this large. I'm gonna assume this is because the game is a text adventure, so it needs a lot of space for that text, but like it's a little hard to read. I feel like this background of this block here should be like maybe a little blacker to make this like white on dark gray on like yellowish white is it's a little bit, and honestly I wouldn't be surprised if like people watching this might have a hard time reading that even. But yeah, as usual, I'll try to read the text as best I can. Eric is select. Does this use, like, the actual, visual novel, like, plugins, maybe? Before we begin, I need to ask you a couple questions. Is that okay? I do not wish to be questioned. Firstly, I need to know how you see yourself. Show me. This game is also, the page also, like, describes this game as being taken place over multiple therapy sessions. Which is, it's weird that I'm playing two games back to back that involve, like therapy or psychology in some kind of way. Okay. I have kind of a smaller face. Oh my god. Hold on, I like these ones. Watch these have huge ramifications on your playthrough. The game's art style is entirely hand-drawn, I believe, too, which just looks really cool. Ah, no animalistic triangle nose, that's typically what I use for my characters. Kinda like that one. Kinda like that one, too. Yeah, we'll do this. I look eternally in shock. Nice look. Now I need to know what to call you. Will you tell me your name? Oh, wait, this is right. Something about the sound effects is kind of screwing with my head, but I'm getting used to it. Nice to meet you, Game Dog. You can think of me as your advisor. My job will be to find out why you are here today. Lastly, Game Dog, do you like being challenged? There's enough questions for now. Now we are going to do something interesting. I'll give you this piece of paper with the layout of an empty room. Please feel free to add anything to it at any time. You can think of this as your canvas for creativity. And while you think about what you want to add to the room, I suggest that we play a little game. It'll be a little bit of a role-playing game, so make sure to get immersed. We can start whenever you want. Hold shift to look at the room. Yeah, this looks structured like an actual visual novel. That's really cool. Okay, no mouse controls. I kind of... Oh. Okay. You want to add something to the room. What shall it be? Give me a mirror. A mirror is just a mirror at the end of the day. Can I have them remove the mirror? Oh, this is enough for now. Okay. How exciting. This will be a long one, so please prepare yourself. Today's game has a medieval theme to it. Please pick one that sounds appealing to you. Endless labyrinth of caves. The horror of the unknown. It is inevitable for humans to seek that which we cannot understand, even if we know that it might lead to our doom. Time is valuable, so let's do this. You struggle to wake up. It feels like you're slipping in and out of consciousness. The stone-cold rocks in the floor have made your back extremely stiff. You seem to be in some sort of underground dungeon or cave. As you attempt to get back on your feet, you feel a wave of nausea running through your body. After regaining your balance, the first thing you do is try to remember why and how you got here, but alas, your memory seems to be completely gone. You don't know what has led you here, how much of yourself you have forgotten, but one thing is clear: you must find a way out. Getting up, you notice an old rusted pickaxe laying on the floor next to you. Upon picking it up, you notice that the pickaxe is way more unstable than you initially thought. The handle is barely holding the head in place, and it wobbles with even the slightest movement. You feel like it won't last for long. Heading forward, you notice the path in front of you begin to split. You can either go left or right. Left hand on wall. You can see or is it right hand? Well, I always use them interchangeably. You see a faint blue light at the end of the path. Go down the path. But we're going all in. The path between the two rooms felt way longer than at first glance. Eventually, you see that the light that has been here just a moment ago disappeared with no trace left behind. You desperately search for a source of light. There's one right there. When suddenly you bump into a rock hard. Wasn't there a light down this hallway? Wait a minute. Less than a second later, the entire space lights up, revealing hundreds of light blue colored crystals on the wall. Your eyes rapidly shift around the clearing as you take in the beautiful sight of the ores. Your gaze lands at one particular thing, though. You notice a few crystal darts plastered on one of the tables next to the walls. They glow an extremely bright blue color, and it reflects a blue sun. Take them. Probably the closest we're going to get to a weapon. Here's a menu I'm more familiar. Jesus Christ, that's so much room for items. Ah, look how stretched I am. I'm kind of impressed by how you did this. Like, a customizable character that then becomes your character. Like, RPG Maker has, like, a character creator, but typically, like, what you set is set in stone to you. Elemental. Oh, that's luck. You continue past the room, walking through more of the rocky cave. The walls look empty. Looks like whatever valuable material was found here has already been taken. Just a little further in front of you, you noticed a metal barred door leading into a side path. The darkness covers the entire hallway. You can swear you just saw something move there, or maybe your eyes are playing tricks on you. It's a little further in front of you. Let's see what's next. Are you sure you want to leave? Heading forward, you notice the path in front of you begin to split. You can either go to the left or right. Left hand on wall. You see a sign with markings of a weapon in front of you. Go down the path. The path between the two rooms felt way longer than at first glance. You feel intense heat as soon as you step inside. You find yourself in a blacksmithing forge. Maybe I can fix my pickaxe? There is no blacksmith. The only thing remaining is an anvil and an old furnace. You go over to the furnace. As you go closer, the heat intensifies. Looking inside, you see that it's full of molten lava. Looks more like a smelter than a furnace. What do you want to place inside? You reluctantly place the pickaxe in the molten lava. To your complete surprise, it doesn't melt at all. Instead, the pickaxe rises from the lava as if completely immune. And in fact, it was upgraded. Ah! Ooh. What does wounds do? As you take the weapon, you can't help but question what just happened. The magical lava has imbued your weapon with armor shred. Is there actual combat in this? I'm starting to wonder now. Like, the sound of dripping water. The sound of wind blowing somewhere nearby, but also far away. The sound of bats flapping their wings and moving through the darkness. Those are all sounds you got accustomed to while being down here. They creeped you out at first, but now you find a strange comfort in them. They remind you that you are still within this world. They remind you that you are still human. But now, everything has gone quiet. Nothing can be heard. No water, no bats, nothing. The ever-present darkness is creeping closer and closer. Or at least it's what your brain is imagining. It feels like the torches guiding your path are starting to grow dimmer and dimmer. Just as you are about to turn around, or turn in a corner in this maze, you notice a shape forming in front of you. You brace yourself for what is about to come. Oh my god! Yo, that was really well animated. Okay, there is combat in this. Oh, that's not that bad. I armor shredded him. Oh. The creature's attempting to communicate. For Prometheus. I cannot. Seek the red light. Sacrifice yourself for him. The blank mask. You notice the tip of your pickaxe starting to chip slightly. It doesn't look like a good sign for the pickaxe. We'll search it. Its figure looks extremely human. In fact, it is human. Its body is full of little scars and wounds. The genitalia seems to be missing, so you cannot tell whether it's male or female, but the most striking feature looks to be the huge amount of blood pouring from its eye socket. The nails have also been removed, letting the blood within flow freely. And the blood seems to gather in a strange spot on its chest. No matter how long you stare at it, you cannot seem to arrive at an understanding of the creature's anatomy. Okay, so that's like what it actually looked like. That wasn't like a representation of it. Left hand on wall, we're going all in. Oh my god, the blue lights again. Uh-oh. When suddenly you bump into a rock-hard, sharp surface. Less than a second later, the entire space lights up, revealing hundreds of little blue-colored crystals. We still have these. I probably could have used them against that guy. The rocky labyrinth of the cave seems to be getting to you. You can swear that you passed through this area multiple times already. What if you got lost somehow? What if you never make it out? Your head gets filled with more and more morbid thoughts until you notice a small side path leading towards something that you can't exactly make out. Keep going. You feel the air change as you move forward. You can continue going forward in the left or right. Left hand on wall. You see an inscription of a green cross on the wall. Sure. You feel intense relief and relaxation. Inside, you see a pool largely resembling a hot spring. It must have emerged here naturally. Perfect amount of heat to make all of your worries melt away. It feels like a huge weight has been lifted off your shoulders. You're being careful not to relax too much. You have to find the exit to this terrifying place. I'm getting, like, roguelike vibes from this. Walking through the tunnels of the place, you catch a glimpse of something shiny in the distance. You start sprinting towards the light at full speed. Maybe you finally found the exit. You quicken the pace, disregarding any noise you make in the process. You arrive at your destination, but it's not what you were thinking. The shining you noticed wasn't the exit. You can see crystals, shards of all kinds of rare and valuable materials around you. You seem to have stumbled onto an entirely different part of the mines, but you're not alone. The commotion you caused earlier did not go unheard. As you turn around, a beheaded horror approaches you. Awakened. Let's see how much these do. Oh, you do MP damage. Oh. A bloodshot eyeball. Left hand on wall. You can see a sign with a marking of a book in front of you. The path between the two rooms felt way longer than at first glance. A library of some kind. It's like everything in this place, it looks abandoned. Yeah. It looks abandoned and forgotten, but it's still filled with all kinds of books. Most of them seem to be about fictional stories or historical events. You notice a pedestal displaying 4 special books. They each have an inscription of an element on them. Book of Fire, Book of Lightning, Book of Earth, Book of Ice. The ice magic. The knowledge seems to come naturally even without reading everything. You learn you learn of the ice mages and their clever ways of combat. Being willing to run away when faced with extreme danger has kept them alive after all this time. Hey. As if it wasn't creepy enough, it's twitching, that's funny. You cannot tell what is written on it. You see a knife, probably the one used to scratch over the sign. Take the knife. Oh! You kick and pull away and eventually you are set free. You look at whatever was pulling your hand so desperately and see a frail old man with his back turned. He slowly turns around, revealing an agitated expression on his face. With his lifeless eyes, he lunged at you. I think I want to run from this one. I'm gonna run if I can. Oh, I can't. Oh, I am fully healed, though. Okay, well, let's use our magic. Did that do anything? Doesn't seem like it. Oh, that's doing good damage. Oh, I didn't read that. Oh? He must have used his last strength to grip it tightly. We got a knife. It touches the skin of the miner. It seems extremely resistant to slashes and general magic. It must be because of the dozens of little crystals residing underneath it. Some of them even seem to be making their way outside of his body. Whatever the crystal is, you don't want to touch it. Continue on your journey. You see a statue depicting a female mage. The writing on the statue suggests that her name is Faye, the Enchantress. You can also see a description below. To the great sorceress Faye, who held back the power of one of the Almighty, your sacrifice will not be forgotten. You can pray to the statue for enchantments. Moments later, it splits in two with blood gushing from the crack. You also notice the description change. To the great sorceress Faye, who was slaughtered for the survival of the cowardly. Corpse mutilated and her pride shattered. You continue your way and look back. The statue seems to have gone back to normal. In front of you, the path separates into two. Faint yellow light. You stand still, being too afraid to move. Eventually, you decide to proceed into the darkness. Suddenly, the lights come back on, and you find yourself right in front of an infinitely large hole leading into an unknown world. It's shocking to see something this large, and the fact that it exists in a cave such as this. But before you can get the full scale of it, you feel your mind get flooded with foreign thoughts. You hear stories of torment, suffering, and despair, but in between them, a voice calls out to you. Human. You who is still sane, ask and you shall receive. The Abyss grants you the blessing of strength. Oh, that's just better. You can feel a sinister aura arise in this part of the caves. Soon you stumble upon a very out of place shrine. You try to get a closer look at the shrine. Its name is written with big red letters. Altar of Hardship. You go even closer to the altar. Who could have been so sinister? What could be so sinister about it? You notice a description below the name. Those that pray here can take on the burdens of others. Oh. You get away from the creepy altar. You're glad to be away from it. Looking forward, you notice a miner running in your direction. The crystals by seem to act like heavy armor. I can't use those anymore. Oh, I didn't heal. Move or we both die? I would move right away. Especially since I'm close to dying. He has come. Oh. Oh, looks like you died. What a shame. But no worries, you can get right back in. Just reload a save if you have one, that is. And if you don't, then you can just go back to the menu and start a new game. Of course, you're free to choose to leave as well. My last save was before that area, though. I'm gonna check something. I'm gonna assume that was only the first session of the 3 sessions, so I don't think this is like randomly generated or like. Overarching plot. Okay, so there's definitely more to this game. Oh. Okay, I want to pick a different environment. Let's try Forbidden Lands. Is it because it sounds dangerous? People have a tendency to seek out things that they should not touch. Anyway, let's get to it. In this game, you're going to choose your own playstyle. Isn't that exciting? There are only two, though. Okay, which do you prefer? Your combat has been good since you were very small. You found yourself able to beat anyone, no matter if they were an adult or even a trained knight. You were able to equip two-handed heavy weapons. Your parents didn't love you very much. They mostly used you as a slave to work horrible physically demanding jobs while they got drunk at the local pub. Your father was especially bad, beating you every time you disagreed or tried to express your opinion. One day you decide to retaliate. You easily overpower your father, taking out all of your pent-up frustrations on him. Your parents kicked you out shortly after. You couldn't help but remember their scared expressions every time they looked at you. Well, in the streets, you had to plan your next move. Okay, oh. There wasn't much that someone like you could do, so you couldn't find many job opportunities. You were strong, but you didn't have the manners or discipline to be a knight, and you didn't want to return to physical labor. Luckily for you, a man by the name of Duke Alphonse II noticed you after you got into a fight with one of his subordinates. He wanted to give you a job, but it wasn't just any job. The Duke had numerous enemies and people threatening his status throughout the kingdom. Your job was to dispose of certain individuals all over the country. It wasn't the most honorable occupation, but you were paid very highly, and the Duke could protect you with his status. So we're an assassin. Okay. You simply did as you were told and never questioned it. You got the skill X. Okay, yeah. One day a job came in as normal, but one thing was different. The target was usually some sort of nobleman or someone of power stood below the Duke. This job was about assassinating a student at one of the magic schools. You thought it was strange, but never questioned the Duke's orders. You snuck into the boy's house at night. You waited for him to fall asleep and used the chance to strike. Before you could even get close to him to finish him off, the boy stood up as if he was expecting you. You were confident that you could take him down, but to your complete surprise, he overpowered you easily. He pushed you onto the ground and put your dagger to your throat. You felt extreme fear. No one had ever beaten you before, and here you were at the mercy of this stranger. You took a final look at the face of the boy, and to your complete surprise, he was about your age, if not younger. You closed your eyes waiting for the inevitable, but it never came. The boy pulled his hand away. You were spared. The boy initiated conversation, acting like normal or nothing had ever happened and you were alone. You talked for a while, and you learned that he was just a student at the St. Osric Magic Academy with seemingly no ill intent towards the Duke. You began to leave, still confused by the whole ordeal. Before you left, you forced yourself to ask one final question. What was the boy's name? My name? My name is Prometheus. It was an unusual name for sure, but it somehow felt just right for him. See you later. The boy uttered as you left. This whole encounter had put your existence into question. You returned to the Duke announcing your quitting. The Duke didn't take kindly to that, sending his best men after you. You didn't care. You were homeless again. You didn't care. You were just being used again, just like before. You needed to train. What do you train with? Dual-wielding long swords is rare. You had taken it off in one of the Duke's men a while back. It was coming in useful now. Your next meeting with Prometheus would be months later. To your surprise, he recognized you immediately. You challenged him to a duel. With a fearful look on his face, he accepted. The battle was over in seconds. He had toppled you even quicker than before. You had trained so hard, but apparently he had said had he. What did he have Why did he have such a terrified look on his face? He took you to his house after the battle to tend to your wounds. You woke up hours later, and to your surprise, you found yourself unable to stand. Looking at your body, you saw various bruises and cuts all over. When did this happen? It suddenly occurred to you. Prometheus wasn't afraid of you. He was afraid of what you had done to yourself. He let you stay in his house until you recovered fully. Throughout your stay with him, you got to know him personally, and your lust for revenge grew weaker. He was kind and gentle, yet he could be very frightening. He was always hard-working and considerate. But his most impressive feature was how good he was at everything. He excelled in both physical strength and magic. The Duke was still searching for him, so he wasn't at home most of the time. They seemed to have given up on you, so at least you were safe. At some point you started enjoying life, and you even went to study, even if it was a little too late. Things were going great until one day a cataclysmic event, later known as the Spark of Darkness, occurred. An age of darkness set, the sun disappeared, the crops were dying, the plants were dead, and the monsters began roaming the land. The city was overrun by strange creatures. Everyone was panicking, and Prometheus was gone. You searched and searched, but you couldn't find him. He couldn't be dead. Not someone as strong as him. The monsters were coming in from the west, the Forbidden Land. Prometheus' equipment also went missing. You knew exactly what he was thinking, and you went after him. In a hurry, you could only do so little. You found chainmail. You hurried after him and never looked back. Okay, that might be a good stopping point. Wait, that was just the prologue? Wait. I'll see you folks later. I'm enjoying this so far. This feels more like a visual novel than a horror game, but that, like, animated bit was really, really good. Like, this game kind of nailed psychological horror so far. My only concern is I'm a little worried I'll have to redo that, like, roguelike section again because I died, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I'll see you folks later. Thanks for watching.